I just got off the phone, okay, with a father of a baby girl. She's 13 years old. And he says to me, she's been throwing up since yesterday. And I said, okay, so what's her bowel movements like? And her bowel movements are off. And I said, you don't have to, but she's 13 months old. If you were to get like a little bit of Tummy Love, it's a product, humic fulvic we carry, and take a few drops of that and put that into about 4 to 6 ounces of warm water in an ear syringe, and then do a nice slow little enema on her, put her on her back, and start putting it in slowly, and then you can pump her legs like she's riding a bicycle and smile, and your wife can do that, and then that pumping of the legs will help this old jelly poop crap come out, and guess what? She won't be throwing up anymore. Now, understand it's always about the stomach or the large intestine when it comes to throwing up. And understand when people say, I can't eat, I don't have the ability to eat. Well, that's because your body will shut you down as you get older and doesn't want you eating because you got to cork up your butt. And you don't realize it. You think your bowel movements are good. Understand, when I came here and started the Extapa World Healing and Training Center, I stopped taking the daily cleansing tea. I always take it morning and night, just a few ounces. And understand something, you don't even know what a good bowel movement is. If you get on my daily cleansing tea, which is inexpensive, and you do that for the rest of your life, morning and night, you just got rid of about 85 to 90% of all your sicknesses. Don't believe me. The Royal Society of Medicine, which is the medical league in Great Britain, says that if your bowels are running great, which they also say that nobody knows what good bowel movements are, and you don't. You think you do, but how many people do you poop with? And you only poop as good as the rest of your family, and they don't poop so good. Everybody's full of you-know-what when it comes to that situation. So I said, well, do that little warm water enema, and then you'll start getting this old fecal waste out. And because that's mainly why the baby's, throwing up. And he goes, yeah, and I talked to another health practitioner, and they told me that I should give her some yogurt. And I said, was it Cal's yogurt? He said, yes. And I said, what did she do, throw up? Yes, she did. I said, well, why? Okay, first of all, the child's more intelligent than you and your wife. And please, I'm not putting you down, but the reality is that, her body's saying, can you stop putting food in me because I'm blocked up? Okay, and she's not going to digest it. So if you're blocked up and you eat anything, it could be even good for you. It's going to rot in you. I said to him, do you have a pet? Yeah. Well, if your pet was sick, what would it do? Well, it would want to be left alone and it wouldn't want to eat. I said, okay, there you go. Okay, so wouldn't it be great if the parents of this child were as intelligent as the pet that you own? And I say it in a nice way, not a condescending way, because I said, you and your wife are programmed to be fearful. And he says, yes. And we also called the doctor. And I said, oh, yeah. And what did the doctor say? The doctor said, your child probably has COVID and you need to rush your child into emergency right now. And I said, did you say doctor? I said, well, who's the doctor? I thought you said I'm the doctor. Or is he the doctor? No, he's a medical doctor. And medical doctors are not doctors, because doctor means that you teach. What do they teach? I don't think dispensing fear is called teaching, do you? And here's the deal. If you go on to any medical site, they are not called doctors. They're called physicians if they dispense drugs. And they're called surgeons if they cut you open. Okay? So I don't think any of those things are really good for your daughter. So what I would tell you to do is ask you, why did you call a doctor when you know the doctor only dispenses drugs, knows nothing about natural health? And he goes, you know what, Dr. Wolf? You're right. I'm not sure why I called. I said, well, you called because you're programmed to call. And you know what? If we react, we usually attack. So you cannot do that anymore. Do not put your wife into stress or yourself. Stay connected to your lion heart breathing and ask yourself, if you had common sense and you wanted to work along with nature, what would you do? Well, let me see. Food won't go into my daughter, so that means that the highway must have a disruption because we can't get the traffic to keep moving. Well, why don't you check the back door and get that moving first? Then if you're going to put something in your daughter, why don't you use structured hot water to the point that put it on your wrist to make sure that it's hot, but it doesn't burn your wrist, but it's nice and warm, so it's soothing, so it helps to liquefy the mucus. Because, see, if we're throwing up, we know we're inflamed. If anytime that we have any type of illness, we have inflammation. Inflammation, okay, causes mucus, because your body makes mucus to grab onto the viruses, which are actually just the excrement, okay, and the waste products of cells that are sick. So, yeah, so try to think you're going to get rid of viruses. You get rid of the whole human race. Oh, wait, there could be a clue there. Okay, so now, anyways, so I said to him, get her to drink warm water all day today and just put tummy love in. And I said, I know you and your wife are going, oh my God, we just got to get her to eat. She'll starve. But I know you didn't think that, but in the back of your mind, you're trying to push food into her mouth, and then she throws it right back out. And she did it 3 times. And I go, wow, what's it going to take for you and your wife to stop shoving food down her throat? And then you gave her yogurt, which is cow's yogurt, which means the molecule in cow's yogurt is 20 times larger than mother's milk. So understand, a baby can't digest it. That's why, a baby that's crying at night, it's gas or they want to be fed. Okay, it's pain, gas, pains, or they want to be fed. It's one or the other. Okay, because they're happy to be left alone by their terrorist parents, usually, because they want to get their rest. Okay, and I know I'm being sarcastic here, but sometimes it just gets to me. It all just gets to me how people are not logical, but you know what? But they've been brainwashed that way. It's not that people are morons. It's not that people are dumb. It's not because people are stupid. It's because we've all been programmed to serve the elite. End of story. Don't want to get into it. So anyways, I told the father that, if you were going to give the child yogurt, you wouldn't do that until she's feeling better. And you would give her coconut yogurt. You wouldn't give her cow's yogurt, or you wouldn't make yogurt out of goat, because that's 7 times larger than mother's milk molecule. And what about the casein? The casein is a poison for children and babies. Her digestive tract's not even developed yet. And we're trying to get her to do animal products. Are we like out of our skull? Okay, so anyways, I said, can you leave your daughter alone for 12 hours? Can you do this little enema on her? Okay, and then let her sleep and not be pushing food into her, just lots of warm water with some tummy love. And I said, guess what? I want you to call me in 12 hours and tell me how she's doing. She's going to be smiling and she's going to be well. And tomorrow morning, she's going to be back on track. Okay? All right? So here's the deal. Stay calm. Be patient with your body. And know that when you get sick during Christmas, after New Year's, just know that you've poisoned your cells. They have to get rid of the viruses. Okay? And the viruses are the solvents that are going in to get rid of the chemical poison that you've induced into yourself. And the heavy metal poisoning from overeating, over drinking, and also what other poisoning? The emotional poisoning, because we're unable to process our emotions. We've never been taught how to do that because we refuse